WWE gonna be selling their pay-per-view rights to mainstream streaming services. Hi guys, welcome to another edition of the General Jerry channel. And in today I am finally doing some WWE news. And this is a biggie. No biggie. A biggie news, because apparently WWE are indeed selling their pay-per-view rights to mainstream streaming services. Now, this is good news and it is also bad news. It's good news for me because I'm not subscribed to the network. It's bad news for you if you're subscribed to the network. So I want to get all my facts here. I've been doing a bit of research and stuff like that. There was some major news that actually came out yesterday. Two co-presidents were actually fired by WWE because of disagreements in the financial sector for WWE. These two in question, which were co-presidents, believed that they indeed wanted to keep financial stuff within WWE. Vince McMahon disagreed and said that they can actually make more money in other streaming services, and apparently this will be going to their first quarter, which is only in a few weeks. Also, I know some people have reported on this, but there's also kind of misleading news, and I want to get this out of the way, and that's the reason why I'm making this video. There's been rumors that Wrestlemania is going to Fox. At this point in time, there is no decision for Wrestlemania to go to Fox, so I want to literally just say that straight off the bat. However, there is a possibility of WWE indeed going to be selling their pay-per-view rights to other mainstream media. The reason why is because WWE aren't making as much money on the network compared to what they could be on other streaming services. Those that are UFC fans that are watching this will know UFC are primarily making more money going on to other streaming services, and that's why Dana White is making so much money. So we're going to get into it. And by the way, anyone who doesn't know about this is a direct quote from Vince McMahon. So I don't want to mislead anyone. I don't want to mislead anyone in regards to this. You all know whenever I do WWE news, it's official. Everything that I do, I talk straight from the heart. So let's get into it. WWE is in talks of selling the rights to its pay-per-view events, which are currently available on the company's WWE Network platform. And I quote, this is by the CEO Vince McMahon, revealed on Thursday, and I quote, "Well, we have a lot of options. We could continue on as we are now with a free tier and a more enhanced paid tier," McMahon said during the WWE fourth quarter of the full year of 2019's earnings conference call. "Right now, there is no more better time to exercise the selling of our rights to all of the majors, who, quite frankly, all the majors are really clamoring for our content. So that would be a significant increase, obviously, in terms of revenue." So, long story short, this is what I can say, and this is what I honestly believe is the case. WWE are pumping a good bit of money in their network. To obviously, they need to set up like servers. They need to set up obviously keeping the WWE network working, which some people have reported that they're having issues with. Especially on laptops, people are having some issues going on WWE network for laptops. Not all, but some. Mainly Google Chrome users that are having major issues in regards to that. Now, here's the thing, guys, and this is the obvious news. There's a double-edged sword in this. Number one, you've got people that are so used to buying the network, that are so used to keeping the network, and then all of a sudden, some of these pay-per-views are now going to be on other platforms, which means rather than having an all-inclusive package with the WWE network, they then have to go to other streaming services to maybe buy, for example, TLC, or if they want to buy Money in the Bank, or whatever it might be. And I understand what Vince is trying to do. Yes, he can get more money by these other streaming services, but it's also going to separate the entire audience. And that's the main concern. As I said, this can be technically a good thing, and it's going to be a bad thing. In my opinion, this could be a bad thing because fans could actually turn on this. And the reason why I say this is because fans are so used to the WWE network for being at their leisure. They're so used to seeing this type of stuff. And this to me says that maybe WWE aren't doing too well with the WWE Network. Now, obviously, they won't reveal the real number of their subscribers because WWE right now are only making money on their subscribers, okay? And Vince isn't too happy with this, and that's why he fired these two co-presidents, because Vince wants to go and outsource his content to other competitors, and he wants to stream it like, you know, for example, Netflix or Hulu or whatever it might be, or I don't know, Disney Plus, I don't know. They can do that, okay? My main concern, and I hope that they don't do this, is that TLC is going to be on Netflix, Elimination Chamber is going to be on Hulu, and then like fucking Extreme Rules is going to be on fucking Amazon Prime. Okay, and that means people have to buy 3 subscription services. I think WWE are smarter than that. I think what they're gonna try and do is maybe get like possibly the top 4 pay-per-views on there, or they might keep the WWE Network as a sole archive. That's what they might be able to do. My concern is, however, is that people are paying for the network, and they've paid for the network. Really, let's be honest. At this point, everyone's seen the wrestling content in the WWE Network, and they're mainly subscribing to the network to see these new pay-per-views at their leisure, okay? I do think the network at the start was a great idea, especially for European fans who had to pay fucking Sky 40 fucking pounds, 50 pounds, so then you can actually see this show at like 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning, and then you had to wait at a certain time whenever they did repeats, when you clearly paid for it. It was a bit ridiculous, to be honest with you. But overall, we're just going to really talk about this in general. There's also other news as well. The WWE stock after this news dropped 19%. So their stock has indeed dropped in regards to this. But we're going to go further on here. A second media analyst then followed up by asking if any WWE's premier pay-per-views like WrestleMania Royal Rumble would be off limits to a potential third party. And he wrote, obviously nothing. Obviously the devil's in the details with any of these arrangements. But at this point, there's nothing that looks like it would be anything that stops us from doing any type of transaction in the network if we choose to. That was by Frank Riddick who responded to that. That's a generalization statement because a lot of people are saying WrestleMania is going to Fox, WrestleMania is going to Fox. There is no news at this point in time that WrestleMania is going to Fox, okay? So, like, see all this misleading stuff that's going on? That's not the case. What I do believe, though, however, from what I've researched, is that WWE are indeed going to be outsourcing their pay-per-views because they can actually make more money. The problem is, however, it's going to alienate their audience. Because these fans, and I know guys like Scott Casey Gale, Jack Harvey, you know, Ian, you know, Life is Dope from Enter the Arena, even Dawn, like, for example, or even Wrestling Jesus, watches all of the content on the WWE Network. A lot of these guys, like Jason, I think he has the network as well. Jason, you can let me know about that. I think even Will has the network. And the problem is, though, is that certain pay-per-views are going to be monopolized. And yes, in theory, that's a good business decision. The problem is, though, it's going to alienate your complete audience to the point where these pay-per-views are going to be completely separate. And it's going to make fans incredibly fucking angry. Incredibly angry. You know, the good thing is, though, in this, there is one good thing. If you have one of these streaming services already, nothing will change. In fact, you might actually be able to save money. So, for example, let's just say, hypothetically, you have Netflix already. And then the WWE Network then moves some of its stuff to Netflix. Then nothing will change in regards to that. But the problem is, though, there is some, and like myself, I don't have Netflix, to be honest. I don't have it. I only have Spotify, and that's it. I don't fucking deal with all of that shit anymore. I don't have the network anymore because I find it a complete waste of money. I have to probably resubscribe to it now because I'm obviously watching wrestling content again. I haven't watched it in about a year. I've obviously had to resubscribe to it and stuff. But my main concern is that this would alienate audiences. And we've seen this with boxing in particular. Boxing done this where certain fights were on certain platforms and certain fights were on other platforms. And it does kind of like, people do prefer to be all-inclusive. You know what I mean? The problem is, though, is that some of these streaming services have more experience actually streaming this. Because the network sometimes can be slow, it can be rugged. You know, like I even tried to watch a series of collection of matches from NWO. And literally, you need Wikipedia to actually look through all the WCW stuff as well. So even in their archives, it's not 100%. Again, Vince McMahon obviously does care about money. It's a fucking business after all. But my main concern is alienating audiences and separating them. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this news. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? I think some of you will be half and half on this, to be honest. I'm on the fence where I'm like, let's wait and see. Because my main concern, as I said, is that TLC and all these like lower kind of pay-per-views are going to be monopolized, and it's going to be pay-per-views that people aren't going to watch. So is the big four going to be monopolized? We'll have to wait and see. This is General Jerry on the General Jerry channel, signing out.